Just wanted to thank everybody for tuning in to watch my first season, first episode of According to You. Holy shit. Joining us on our debut episode of According to You is a well-known actor, writer, and producer. You may know him as Sheriff John Henry Hoyle, the sheriff that introduced the emerging science of forensics in the series Quick Draw. He also starred in 2020 The Exchange and a number of other films. So let us welcome John Lehr to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Gilberto.
Oh, no,
Great to be here.
Yep, and thank you for actually giving me the time. I know you're a busy man. So I explained to the audience the whole purpose of having you over and what we're going to be talking about, the topic of conversation, which is donations. So let me ask you, what experience, positive or negative, have you had in regards to making any type of donations?
That's such a great topic. I guess after you get just a little bit of notoriety, and I certainly wouldn't call myself a an A-level celebrity by any means, but once you get a little notoriety, people come to you and ask you to donate your time and donate to make an appearance or to support a cause, those kinds of things.
Right.
And I think what's great about it is you can support stuff and help them maybe get a little bit more press and a little bit donations. I'll give you two examples. One, I'm on the board of directors at Still Point Theater,
okay,
which is this incredible theater collective out of Chicago that does amazing work with women inmates. And they use theater devices and storytelling to allow inmates to sort of express themselves, and they end up performing a lot of that stuff out into the community. So it does a couple of things. It gives these inmates an experience they've never had before.
Wow.
And then it also allows them to take it out into the community and sort of perform what they've written.
Nice.
And so it works two ways. It sort of exposes people out there. So anyway, I love that group. And then the other one is the Association for Recovery in Higher Education. I've been sober for 24 years, and I talk about it all the time in my stand-up, and I'm very involved. And this group is so amazing because the opiate crisis really is hitting younger and younger people, and the Association for Recovery in Higher Education they sort of look at and attack the problem from the college campus. So they create these groups, these support groups and information groups to help college kids who find themselves addicted or to drugs or alcohol, and they're amazing. So you get to help that kind of stuff, which is great.
No, that's a beautiful thing. I love your story. And by the way, you're being very modest as far as your acting. And congratulations on your 20 years.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
It's a beautiful thing. I have actually read some of your bio, and what an incredible story you definitely have. I mean, it's really incredible. Like, I wish everybody knew about this. But let me ask you, just to change the topic a little bit.
Yeah.
What's the most embarrassing moment that you could remember during filming?
Oh, during filming?
Yes.
Oh my God. This one, excuse me. This one is sort of humiliating in a great way.
Okay.
I had a show. The first show that I ever got on the air was for TBS. Turner, and it was called 10 Items or Less, and it was set in a grocery store, and it was great, and it really started my career, especially as a writer and producer as well as an actor. And after that show was canceled after 3 seasons, Sony, who was the studio attached to it, asked me to produce, write, and star in a show for Crackle.com, which is it's a website portal that Sony owns.
Yeah, I know it. Yep.
Okay, good. And they asked for us to do a limited series for them, and we had been coming up with this crazy idea of doing a comedy set in a prison. And this is before Orange is the New Black. We were sort of fans of that show Oz on HBO. Do you remember that show?
Of course, I loved Oz.
Great show.
Yep.
And so we were like, well, can we take something as intense as that show, but turn it into a comedy? And so we pitched them this show where my character, Ozzy, has been busted on marijuana, and he's kind of just a nice, normal guy trying to fit in prison. And he's kind of oblivious, and it's a great series. Great series. Well, but we wanted it to be really like, kind of cutting edge and just surprise you. And so one of the things we did was we thought it'd be funny if Ozzy is getting strip searched before he goes into the prison.
Okay.
And this great comedian was playing the guard. And it was so funny. And so it's like he's being strip searched and his contact pops out. Oh. And he's like trying to find his contact while he's being strip searched, in body cavity search. You don't see any of that, obviously.
Oh, okay.
But that's inferred. So it's just this ridiculous situation. And it was great, but it required me to appear almost nude in it. And I'm in a this shower room. Is that it? Yeah, I'm in the shower room while I know this sounds crazy. And I was sick as a dog. I had like 103 temperature. Okay. And I was just kind of, it was one of those things where I just, was discombobulated. I didn't really know where I was. And it was just horrible. It was just horrible. And at one point they needed one final shot. And my director is like, look, John, we're seeing the strap on the, the covering that I was wearing to cover my privacy. Okay. And she's like, can you take it off? It's like this thing. It's this thing called a dance belt. It's kind of like a jock strap. Okay. And she says, can you take it off just for this one shot? And I'm so sick. I just want to be finished. I'm like, fine, I don't care. And I take it off, and the crew's being very cool about it. And he shot it, but I'm completely naked.
How big was the crew?
Let's see. It was about like 8 or 9 people. Okay. So well,
that's enough.
It's terrifying. And so we get the shot, and Nancy and the director's so cool and great about it. Okay, everybody out so John can change. And they all left, and I was so sick, and I remember just being kind of miserable trying to put my clothes on. I felt like, like, I don't know, like I'd just been exploited, and I was just exhausted, and I was sick. It was everything that I didn't want to do about Hollywood. But the scene turned out, and it was hilarious. I mean, it was one of the best scenes from the whole series, just because it was so, rated. It was so funny. It reminded me of like a Benny Hill kind of.
Oh my God, Benny Hill! Wow.
Yeah. Oh, it was so great. Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Sure.
So I think that would qualify as the most embarrassing.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna say that's up there, definitely. Hey, I got
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
Quick question, because I know there's a lot of people that are wondering. Well, before I even ask that question, let me ask you this question. I read, and I don't know how true it is, I read that in Quick Draw, the actors, it was all improv. Like there was no script writing for them. Is that true?
Yes, that is true.
Wow.
My partner Nancy Howler and I would write scripts. So there were scripts written. They looked like almost like short stories. So they were very detailed. Like an average half-hour script is somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 30 pages. Our scripts were in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 pages. Wow. So they were much more detailed, but they didn't have any dialogue. Occasionally we put some suggested dialogue in there just to, help the reader get the comedy. And those scripts would be submitted to Network, and we got paid to write them, and Network signed off on everything. And then those scripts were dispersed to the crew so that the different departments would know what to prepare for. Okay. But the actors never saw them. Never.
Wow. That's pretty incredible.
Well, the idea was we wanted to get that kind of comedy that only comes from spontaneity. Like when you're with your friends and you say something funny and you all die laughing. Yep. But if you try to repeat it, it just isn't as funny. That kind of humor. That's what we wanted.
No, and you got it. I think that was great.
We got it. I know. It was just it was such a fun way to work. And so the actors would show up in costume onto the set and not really know what was happening. They knew who they were. And, I was in almost every scene because I was the star. So I knew the script. So my job was to kind of, take care of any, narrative, we call it laying pipe, taking care of, just the narrative beat so that the story could unfurl. Okay. And their job was just to play and just to be funny and have fun. And then my partner, Nancy, who was directing, she would kind of guide it too. So we would end up with this hilarious stuff. Like the actors on our show were just amazing. Huh. But it also had a pretty tight storyline too. So yeah, when we tell people that it was all improvised, they don't believe it, but it was.
No, I think that's improv at its best. Like, do you have people that have classes to do improv? Where you go in and you're learning. No, this was, as far as I'm concerned, that series, whichever series you want to pick, can be used in a class.
Yeah, we get asked to, like run workshops and stuff for colleges and for improv schools, and we come in all the time, and we've done like where it's just a Q&A where they get to ask how it's done, right. All the way through to where we walk them actually through it. And we did a thing at UCB or University of California, Santa Barbara, okay. UCSB, where they brought in their film students and their acting students, and we kind of made a mock production where the actors improvised and the film students shot it, and we kind of talked to them about, we showed them how we did it, and they loved it. It's fun.
No, that's
in
great.
fact, we found an actor. One of the actors in that workshop ended up being one of the actors in the Hulu show.
Oh,
she
great.
was so good, we remembered her, and we cast her in the show.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, she was shocked.
Now I gotta bring up something real quick.
Okay.
How you and I started talking with each other. And this is my son. Back in the days when you were able to comment on Hulu, you can't do that anymore.
Yes.
And long story short, you added my son onto on Facebook, and he had asked you on my birthday to say happy birthday to me, which you did, and I thank you for that. I think that was a great gift. But we never spoke to each other. So my point is this. We spoke less than 5 minutes, and you were humble enough to actually come on my show, which is my first show that I've ever done. And I just wanted to really, really thank you for that.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Listen, and lots of people did stuff like that for me when I was sort of figuring things out.
Nice.
And I mean, people are always surprised at how much I communicate with fans or viewers. But I don't know. My take on it is like that's the whole point. The whole point of this thing is to entertain people or take their minds off their troubles.
Yep.
And connect with them and, you know, to be able to talk to them and then them say, hey, I really enjoyed this. And I get stuff like, you know, from vets who are, you know, in the hospital or people who are going through really, really, really tough times.
Right.
And they're like, look, your silly show took my mind off my troubles, you know, for a few hours.
Nice.
I mean, that's the whole point of the whole thing.
I agree. Hey, real quick, I'm going to ask you a final question. Can you share any of your upcoming projects?
Yes, I can. I'm going to be on a Fox show called I Can See Your Voice. That's coming up. I can't really talk too much about it because it's anyway.
Of course.
And and I'm coming. A movie is coming out called Safer at Home, the coronavirus movie that's coming out that I star in.
Okay.
Which is really fun. And I do a podcast too. It's called Generation Gab, GAB. And I'm pitching 2 shows right now, but it's the early days for those. Early days.
Wow, so you're a busy man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm fortunate enough that I don't have to work a day job. I can focus all my attention and time on, you know, on what I love. So yeah, I do a lot. I'm producing a commercial right now, but that's more of a money job. Although I really love it. I'm using all the same crew from my Hulu show and my TBS show. It's the same people. We all work together. We're like a traveling.
Wait, does that mean you're coming back as the caveman? No?
No. No. But there's a little caveman talk going on out there.
Good.
I should probably,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Listen, Geico, you know, that gig was amazing and changed my life. The money that I made on that was enough to, you know, pay off all my debts and give me a house. And, you know, it was a life-changing experience. I did like 25 national commercials, which is just unheard of.
Wow, that's beautiful.
It was amazing, and so much fun to do and ridiculous.
No, hey, listen, you were blessed.
Yes, I am. I have had things bend my way, and yeah, that's why I'm doing your show. You know, everybody, you know, we come up together. You know,
I agree. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Same here, man. Same here.
So listen, I'm gonna get ahead because I know you're a busy man. I'm gonna let you go.
Well, thank you.
I thank you from the bottom of my heart that you did this for us. And I'll let you know when it's up so you could watch it as well.
Yeah, I'll share it and let people know. And congratulations. I love that you're doing this. Hey, a lot of people talk about making stuff, but very few actually get it done. So congratulations.
I thank you for that.
Yeah.
Sir, you have a great one.
You too. Thanks for having me, Gilberto.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.